How's it going, everyone? This is Mike, Gray 1951, and I'm back to do a video for the vinyl community, which I haven't done. I haven't done anything about music for a couple of years now, so I seem to be concentrating on my film collection. But I recently came across a contest sponsored by a guy named Vinyl Potato. I think some people are calling him Vinyl Spud, which is kind of cool. And he's sponsoring a contest, which ends today at midnight, so I need to get this done. The contest is for his first 100 subscribers, so congratulations on that number, and I see you already have more than that already, so good for you. And the contest is about showing off our singles, and I thought this is something I can do. So let me get started here. First, I'd like to show some of my 45s, the ones that I think have really cool covers. Okay, here's a song from the 80s, around late 70s, early 80s, my brief foray into the world of New Wave. This is Venus and the Razor Blades. And the song is I Want to Be Where the Boys Are, and it's on the Spark label. On the back it has a song called Dog Food. So I really like the song I Want to Be Where the Boys Are, so very happy to have that in my collection. Here is a record by Gary Newman called Complex. On one side is Complex and the other side is Bombers. Okay? And I don't think that's colored or anything. No, it's not. It's on Beggar's Banquet. And here's something I bought fairly recently. This is Too Much to Think About by The Quarter After. And I believe this is on, it's on blue vinyl. Check that out. Is that cool or what? One side is red and the other side is like that. So, I love colored vinyls. What can I say? Here's something I bought without knowing anything about these people. This is a group called High Places, and I just saw this in the store and I was curious. It has the song on one side is called Visions the First, and on the other side it's called Namer. Don't ask me to explain that, but take a look at this record. White vinyl, right? With absolutely nothing written on it, and unfortunately it's a little dirty, so I need to get that clean. But I like their music. I actually bought one of their albums too, so okay. And here's something I bought. I have no idea when and where I bought this, but it had to be in one of my local record shops, and I just was curious about it. Again, knowing absolutely nothing about these people, but I love the color of the vinyl. And on one side it has a group called Jerusalem and the Star Baskets singing a song called I Cannot Radiate Without You. And on the other side is a group called Hush Arbors singing Mr. Bones. So anyway, I like the look of the vinyl, so that's cool. Okay, some of the others that I have pictures of. Here's a couple of Donna Summer singles from the 80s. Here is Love Is in Control. Can never get too much Donna Summer. And here is She Works Hard for the Money. Okay, so some of the other things I have here. You know, when I was growing up in the 60s, I started buying 45s back in around 1962, and by the time I was out of high school I had a nice big stack of them. And in the early 70s, when I moved from one city to another, I just decided to put away childish things, right? So I gave the entire collection to Goodwill. Now I wish I'd never done it, because I had some very old and what would be now considered classic stuff. But since I've discovered eBay and all that kind of thing and estate sales, I've been picking up some old records just to have them in my collection. So here are some things I picked up recently that are kind of classic. Here is by Jerry and the Pacemakers, Ferry Across the Mersey. Here's something by Tab Hunter on the Dot label. This had to be late 50s. It's called Young Love. And on the other side is Red Sails in the Sunset. Tab Hunter, what a singer. Here's one of the original copies of the Beach Boys, Good Vibrations. Classic tune. Okay. Yes. Here's something very old, I guess, by Frankie Avalon. It's called, one side is called Why. This is on the Chancellor label. And you'll notice that I have a Columbia sleeve. I went to an estate sale a couple of years ago where they just had a table covered with records outside of sleeves, and then a big pile of sleeves kind of mixed in. So I grabbed pretty much everything I could, and most of the sleeves didn't match any of the records. But okay, so one side is Why, the other side is Swinging on a Rainbow. So I don't know how old that is. This goes back a long way. This is by Dodie Stevens, Pink Shoelaces. Remember that song? Tan shoes with pink shoelaces. Well, I remember it anyway. Okay, probably the only record sung in Japanese that became a big hit in the United States. This is by Kayu Sakamoto, Sukiyaki. I think that was about 1963. Okay, here's an old record by Frank Sinatra, and I don't know how old it is, but it's on the Capitol label with a capital sleeve, and it's called Witchcraft. And on the other side, he is singing Tell Her You Love Her. All right? Here's something by a singer named Ral Donner. I remember the name, but I don't remember any of his music. But it's on the Gong label. I love that label. And the song is called She's Everything I Wanted You to Be. And on the other side is Because We're Young. I need to clean that up and play it. Ral Donner. What a name. You know that's a fake name. Okay. Here's a classic by Annette Funicello on the Vista label, Buena Vista. One of her first hits in 1960, first name initial. And on the back is another song that she had, I think it made the charts somewhere. It's called My Heart Became of Age. That's Annette. And that's in a London sleeve because I don't have anything from Buena Vista. And here's something I bought off of eBay. This is another song by Annette that I like very much. And it's on the Buena Vista label. I think this is a later release. It's called Lonely Guitar, which goes back, I think, to maybe 1959 or 1960. And on the other side is another one of her songs called Wild Willie, right? Annette Funicello. Okay, here's a very old one. I don't know if this is the original release, but this is on the Tough record label, the Janettes and Sally Go Round the Roses. And the other side has the instrumental background to Sally Go Round the Roses. So it says sing along without the Janettes. So you can leave their voices out and provide your own. This is a great single, Sally Go Round the Roses from I think 1964. Here's an old song by Bobby Rydell on the Cameo label, and it's called Wild One. And I think that goes all the way back to 1960. I remember that song. I remember that song very well. Okay. Here's something I bought off of eBay by none other than Pat Boone, because I remember this song. I remember hearing this song when I was a very little kid playing on a car radio, and I just fell in love with it. It was very hypnotic to me. It's called Moody River. Moody River. Okay? Pat Boone. Oh, sorry, I think I had that upside down. Moody River. Kind of a country tune. I always liked it. Okay. Now here are a couple of records I found at estate sales that I don't have covers for, and I don't know how old this is either, but this is Cry Me a River by Julie London. And another one by Johnny Crawford, who used to be on The Rifleman on TV. This is a song called Lonesome Town on the Delphi label. The other side is called Proud. Don't know anything at all about that. And here's something I want to show you, which is, I'm showing you this because it's actually one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a Motown song by Eddie Kendricks called Keep On Truckin', which I absolutely love. And here is a reissue of Get a Job by the Silhouettes on red vinyl. This is on the Lost Night label. Get a Job by the Silhouettes. And I bought that sometime in the, I think, mid to late 70s, but really a good song. And finally, here's a song from the 1960s. I believe it was 1968 that I discovered on YouTube by a group, and I never heard of the song, never heard of the group, by St. George and Tana, right? A duo. It's called Big Daddy's Blues, which I heard on YouTube and I absolutely fell in love with. It's one of the best songs I've ever heard. And I can't believe I never heard it back in the 60s, but maybe it wasn't a big hit or something. Okay, so those are my 45s. And let me show you some of the things I have on 12-inch vinyl. Here's one I bought fairly recently. This is one of my favorite songs, Joy Division, Love Will Tear Us Apart. And let me show you this. This is worth taking out and looking at. Red vinyl. How cool is that? I love red vinyl. Okay. Let's see. I'm very lucky. We have a couple of good record stores in town here. So here is a jazz single by Art Pepper. Art Pepper. Side one is Red Car, the other side is Blues for Blanche. And take a look at this. More red vinyl. All right. Okay. That needs a sleeve. I have a sleeve for that one. Okay. And here's a song. Here's something. I don't know when or why I bought this, but I think I just bought it because it was on clear vinyl, which is kind of a dumb reason to buy something. And I couldn't even tell you what it sounds like, to tell you the truth. But it is a record that is, it's only playing, has music on one side. It's by a guy named John Mueller. And the tune is called Strung. And it's got, you can see, it's got kind of etchings and stuff in there. So that's kind of cool. John Mueller. I think I'm finally getting out of the bad habit of buying things just because I like the way the record looks. It's not a good idea. You end up spending a lot of money that way. So let me go through some of my other 12-inch singles just because the music that I like or that I like the covers. Here is none other than Miss Diana Ross herself, Swept Away. Great rock and roll tune by Romeo Void called Never Say Never. Never get tired of listening to that. Here's one of my favorite disco singles of all time. This is the Jacksons, and it's Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, which, as I recall, well, this is quite different than the single that came out on the radio, and the disco single, I think, was only put out somewhere in Europe. I was very, very lucky to get that. Anyway, here is Yellow and I Love You. Okay, another disco classic back in the day. And this is by Shalimar. It's called Uptown Festival on the Soul Train label. Shalimar again. This is Dancing in the Sheets. Okay, another one of my favorite soul records by a group called Soul to Soul. And this is Back to Life. Great music. Here is something by a group called Succession. It's called Touch. Has two different versions, one on one side, one on the other, and you got to check this out. This is another one I bought at a record sale without knowing anything about it, just because I like the way it looked. But check this out. No? I think that's called Candy Stripe. I'm not sure. Pretty good music too, actually. All right. And here is the original version of Chase by Giorgio Moroder from the movie Midnight Express. Here is one of my favorite songs by a group called Monsoon, Ever So Lonely. Great tune. Another one by Monsoon, this is called Shakti. Here's the back of it. The lead singer is a woman named Sheila Chandra who's got a fantastic voice. Here is a single by Miss Liza Minnelli. It's called Losing My Mind. I love that cover. Okay. Liza. Not a bad tune either. This is when she was doing music with the Pet Shop Boys. Some of it was pretty good. Here is a classic, Can You Feel the Beat by Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam. Here's a song way back in the old disco days by DC LaRue. It's called Cathedrals on the Pyramid Disco label. It's kind of a gay classic. Cathedrals. Whatever happened to DC LaRue? This is Kraftwerk, Tour de France. Big fan of Kraftwerk. Here are a couple of records by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. And this is Scorpio. And the other one is The Message. Sugar Hill label. Okay. Here is the Fun Boy 3 with Bananarama. It Ain't What You Do. Here's the back of it. Okay. Peter Gabriel, Shock the Monkey. Here she is herself, Miss Irene Cara, and Breakdance. What the hell ever happened to Irene Cara? And here is this song I love. This is by Kate Bush, called Running Up That Hill. If I only could be running up that hill. Extended version. And here's another early disco classic that a lot of you might remember if you're my age. On the TK Disco label by Peter Brown, Do You Want to Get Funky With Me? Come on. You know, you all remember that. You all dance to that in the discos, right? Here's another one by Bananarama. He was really saying something. Once again with Fun Boy 3. Okay. And finally, here's something I bought, I think at a record sale with one of those blind buys I didn't know anything about. But it's kind of dance music by a guy named Gerd. It's called Terra. And it's got 4 different versions. Well, 3 different versions of that song and then another one. And it's actually pretty good music. So I need to know. I found out this guy has a lot of music he's put out. And I need to find more of it. So anyway, that's my video. That's my entry. Hope you enjoyed it. Comments are welcome. And I would like to win this contest. So thanks, folks.